So many questions tonight after a shocking assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, and one person was killed in that rally crowd today.
All this played out on live television. The shots, the former president grabbing his ear and ducking before emerging bloodied, but defiantly raising his fist to his cheering supporters.
They see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Chaos, confusion, but not immediately clear what was happening. The president's security detail surrounded him, hustled him off the stage as he gestured to the cheering crowd, which appeared to still be confused about just what was happening. A man in that crowd was killed. His name has not been released. 2 other men were critically hurt. The shooter is dead as well. NBC News reports the shooter is a man about 20 years old from Pennsylvania. The FBI just said the shooter's been tentatively identified, but they're not ready to share the name, the motive, or whether that person acted alone. The former president had just started speaking when the shots rang out. It was chaos.
I'm standing next to the fence on that left-hand side. When we heard this go off, we thought it was firecrackers at first, and then somebody hollered everybody to the ground, so we're all going down to the ground. And we weren't sure if Trump got hit or not, because the first thing we saw was all the Secret Service crowding around Trump.
An attempted assassination with thousands of eyewitnesses in some fashion or another. Trump was taken away by the Secret Service. The crowd was then allowed to leave, and the investigation began. The former president posted on Truth Social a few hours later, thanking law enforcement and the Secret Service for their rapid response, also sending condolences to the family of the man who was shot and killed at the rally.
President Joe Biden condemned the shooting in his first comments after the rally tonight, calling it sick and saying there's no place in America for this kind of violence.
The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody.
During his comments, Biden said he was trying to get in touch at the time. NBC reports tonight the 2 men did speak tonight.
Democrats and Republicans from Colorado's congressional delegation are condemning political violence tonight. And Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is also directly blaming President Joe Biden personally for the shooting.
I believe that much of the rhetoric from the left has escalated to this moment. Just last week, we saw Joe Biden trying to excuse his poor performance at the debate and get that behind him and say, now we need to put Trump in a bullseye.
I'd like to clarify what you just said. Do you believe that President Joe Biden bears any responsibility for what happened today, or does the responsibility for the shooting lie with the shooter?
I do believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the shooting today. Kyle Clark, an innocent supporter of President Trump, someone who loved President Trump and was there exercising their right to support him, lost their life today. Everyone who has called him a fascist, everyone who has called him a threat to democracy, who said that he should be put in a bullseye, as Joe Biden said, they need to have some very deep reflection tonight before another tragedy like this takes place.
As for reflection, this is unquestionably a time of incredibly heated rhetoric. Every prominent voice in American politics might consider the language they use, but Representative Boebert pushed back on the suggestion that she might recalibrate her own language. Have you given any thought to that, about things that you say and how it might contribute to the heated political environment?
Kyle, nothing I have ever said is invited violence. I am not calling for the death of someone. I'm not telling people who follow me to put another political opponent in a bullseye. There is no place for political violence in America. I completely am opposed to that, and I do not condone anyone who would call for any sort of political violence. But I do believe that there is a place to speak truth and to hold those accountable who are causing harm on Americans. And that is not a violent thing. I think Republicans will show up at the ballot box, and that will be our response to today.
My full conversation with Congresswoman Lauren Boebert about the events of the day, as well as social media posts provided by other political leaders in our state, are on 9news.com and the 9 News app. We'll have more on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump coming up in this newscast.
Here in Colorado, scorching temperatures across the state today and very challenging conditions for firefighters. People in 2 different counties lost homes today in 2 different fires. 5 people injured in a house fire in Jefferson County, including a child and first responders, and a brush fire in Arapahoe County destroyed several buildings, including homes. We will start with rural Arapahoe County, southeast of Byers, where the sheriff's office says the Quail Hollow fire burned at least 1,100 acres today.
People were evacuated, at least 8 buildings burned. 9 News reporter Ria Jha has the latest.
It's devastating how quickly people lost their homes, but it's also amazing how quickly this community of just 1,600 people came together to bring resources to this warehouse for their firefighters.
In the distance, we could hear sirens, and I was waiting for them just to fall off, but they kept getting closer. And when they came in front of us is when we really started looking, and we saw all of the smoke billowing and some flames from behind the neighbor's house.
It's the second time in 2 weeks Diana Hand thought her house would be next.
I love it here, but the fire danger is really bad this year. We've never had this many fires in this area before.
Diana loves the open space she gets living in Byers, but that open space can be a risk too.
If an ember hits the ground and catches that grass on fire, it will just go. I mean, if you look around, it's just dry.
Which is exactly why Diana's family started packing up when they saw the smoke near their neighbor's house on Saturday.
This went quick. This took maybe 5 minutes from it to get to the trees to get way up there. It was fast.
The fire spread to the size of a football field. Thankfully, Diana's house was spared, but 4 other homes and 3 outbuildings were destroyed.
I am shaking. I feel sick to my stomach, not just for us, but for the people that lost their property, for my neighbors especially. The one good thing to see again is the community coming together.
We got out there, we heard there were homes and livestock in danger.
Dan Froman was among several community members who went out to the scene to help out. He also owns this warehouse in Byers.
We're a local HVAC and electrical contractor out here on the corridor.
But today
we're whatever we need to be to help the community.
His warehouse turned into a refuge and recovery for firefighters.
One of our friends got on Facebook and just said, hey, look, if you guys want to drop stuff off and volunteer, we'll open up the place here at Wide Open for everyone that needs it. And it was just car after car after car.
While the community is spread out, in times like this, they know how to unite.
It's people helping people, and it's a beautiful thing.
Tonight, firefighters tell us the fire is fully contained and all evacuation orders have been lifted. Reporting in Byers, Ria Jha, 9 News.
And in Jefferson County today, fire investigators are still trying to figure out what started a house fire in Conifer. 5 people got hurt. Firefighters tell us they did get reports of small explosions near this home. They guess it was related to propane tanks. Elk Creek Fire says this one started at a home just off 285, then it spread to surrounding wildland. 5 people went to the hospital with either smoke inhalation or minor injuries, including 2 Jefferson County deputies that were first to arrive on scene. 2 people inside the home also went to the hospital, and a 9-month-old baby whose parents say they fell out of a walker. The baby was later released. Family tells us he's doing okay tonight. We spoke to his mother, though, shortly after they came back home from the hospital.
Then his little walker, and then things started shifting around, glass was breaking, and then our little thing that blocks off the stairs moved and shifted, and he fell down the stairs trying to look for the glass.
Firefighters say that house was destroyed, but they got that wildland fire under control pretty quickly. Again, still trying to figure out what started the fire, and they tell us it's the second one this week that started at a house and spread to nearby wildland.
In Boulder County, firefighters now have the dinosaur fire completely contained. That fire started burning yesterday near the NCAR facility. Firefighters plan to stay up there through tomorrow to keep an eye on things. Trails are still closed, and they're asking people to avoid that area. Every single one of these fires, meteorologist Lauren Robinson, could turn into something terrible considering how hot and dry it is.
That's right. We've seen several days with above average temperatures, record breaking in some instances like yesterday. Today, we didn't break any records. We maxed out at 99 degrees at DIA, which is just short of our existing record of 100 degrees set on this day in 2003. Now, the rest of the Front Range and Eastern Plains did make it into the upper 90s. Lots of triple digits across the state, including the western slope. The high country saw highs in the 80s and 90s, so another hot day all across Colorado. As we take a look at our HD Doppler radar, we do have some very brief showers and storms kind of here and there. The vast majority of us will be staying dry, but let's zoom into northern portions of the urban corridor where we're looking for some very brief storms pushing across areas like Fort Collins, moving just south of Grover. We're going to see some of those storms move through areas like Raymer. Again, they're very brief, very isolated, but they could be dropping some quick downpours, gusty winds up to around 50-55 miles per hour, lots of lightning and thunder there. As we move through the rest of the evening, we will be preparing for a warm night ahead. Tomorrow, another day, likely in the triple digits. And then as we move through next week, we will see temperatures start to cool down, but we do have several chances for afternoon and evening storms to return to the forecast. So I have all of those details for you just after the break.
Aurora police are looking for the car and the driver involved in a hit-and-run crash that killed someone this morning. Police say this vehicle was last seen headed east on Hamden. The driver hit and killed somebody walking in the intersection at East Hamden and South Yerevan Street around 9:30 this morning. Police think that we're looking at a mid-90s Pontiac Grand Am, no front plate, possible passenger side damage, including a missing side view mirror. If you know this vehicle, you're asked to call 911.
It's now been about a month since the Walmart neighborhood market near Havana and Colfax closed in Aurora, and the community is already feeling the effects. The grocery store shut its doors in early June and really cut back access to food for that community. Well, today the Salvation Army offered free food boxes in that very same Walmart parking lot for people struggling to get access to fresh, affordable food. The Salvation Army is located about 2 miles away from the old Walmart. And since the store closure, they said they've seen double the amount of people coming to access their food pantry. And on days like today, that walk could be dangerous.
It is terrible, to be honest. It's scorching to come from this location to do 2 mile walk to our facility. So it's definitely impactful. And there's no water stations, free water stations anywhere, right? So we have to recognize that our community is in need.
Aurora Police Department says they're planning to host another event like this in the very same spot sometime in August.